right, aloha mai kako. Welcome to another edition of the Halau Kukulau Lama Ohana Engagement Workshop. Today we're going to be making a staple in our Hawaiian homes, fresh ahi poke. But before we go to that, I do have a couple of things for housekeeping. Please take a moment to sign in into the chat. Put your ohana name, your ahu pua'a, as well as how many people from your family are watching. Just helps to give us the numbers and feedback. Okay, so the keola game. So you should have been able to download the form from the email that you received, but we'll also put it in the chat. So it's like bingo. So Chef Bodhi here will work in those words for the conversation throughout the workshop. So when you hear it, just check it off. And the first one to get everything checked off, just type in keola into the chat. And actually, everybody do that, not just the first one. Okay. Also, you have any questions during the the workshop? Go ahead, put it in the chat, and then I will be relaying it to the chefs. Okay, so we want to make sure that you get all your questions answered now so that you can go ahead and make an awesome poke for your family. All right, and without further ado, I'd like to introduce Chef Keoni Chang. He's Vice President and Chief Food Officer. That's a cool name. At Foodland Supermarkets. He's also class of 1989 here on campus. And then his very special assistant is his son, Bodhi, who is also a student. He's class of 2031. Can anybody figure out what that is? 6th grade. Kindergarten is 2037. Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, without further ado, chefs, take it away.
Well, thank you. We're excited to be here. So today we're going to make some poke, right? And then we're going to make poke bowls. You guys should have 2 recipes for the 2 pokes that we're going to make. But I also thought, since we're here, I'll make a couple other varieties, and then there's no recipes. You can write it down if you like the recipes. But I did want to sort of show how you can build on the different ingredients and you end up with different poke. And it's really like, sort of like your imagination is, sky's the limit. Sound good? Mm-hmm. Okay, so the first thing that we'll start with is dicing the ahi.
Mm-hmm. Poke means to slice or cut in different ways.
Thank you. So we're going to poke the ahi.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. So when you're choosing your ahi, you want to use a piece that has nice bright red color, and you want to get a piece ideally that sort of, if you think of the block, right, the one that's closer to the center, because toward the outer pieces where you start to get all that sinew, and that's all the suji that gets stuck in your teeth, and you don't want to eat that. You also get closer typically to where the bloodline is, and that's where it's really dark red. And so if you get a piece like that, you cut the dark red piece out, and you can fry that. That tastes good with shoyu. And the center pieces, you can make sashimi with some of that, and then you can cut up some of the pieces. What do you call that again when you cut it up?
Poke.
When you poke the pieces to make your poke. Mm-hmm. So here's our piece of ahi we have here. And just one thing that I wanted to note is, ahi is definitely one of the core traditional things in the islands. But, traditionally ahi or poke was made with small pieces of reef fish, and they were just kind of cut and chunked up, and they would be eaten with salt.
Pa'akai.
They would season with pa'akai, and pa'akai is good for seasoning, but also good for curing, and so it kind of cure and season the fish. And maybe they would put some inamona, right? Mm-hmm. Which is what?
Limu.
What?
Right?
Inamona is candle nut, kukui nut. Oh. It's roasted kukui nut, chopped up. And so over time, right, as people started to arrive, we would get different nationalities, and the Japanese arrived, right? And they also came, and they're doing a lot of tuna fishing, skipjack tuna, aku fishing. Mm-hmm. And they were very, very, very passionate about sashimi, and they loved their ahi. And so as sashimi culture grew, ahi started to become what they used to make poke a lot, and now it is, I think you could argue it's the primary fish used to make poke. Mm-hmm. Sound good? Okay, so we're gonna dice now. And then, I'm just going to take the piece of block that I have here, and I'm going to cut it in chunks. And so, this piece here is about, 1.5 inches by 3 inches. I like the pieces to be, for my poke, to be a little bit smaller. Sometimes the big pieces are not so fun to eat, so I'm going to cut it a little bit smaller here. And I'm going to go maybe 3/4 of an inch to an inch. And we'll dice it up this way here. I'm just going to cross cut this into small bite-sized pieces. And these are really beautiful pieces. You can see here, you know, the fish is really nice and bright red, and there's no suji inside this fish here. So when you think about it, when I grew up, right, the kind of poke we used to eat was like o'io and like small fish that would be cut up, had bones inside it and everything. And that's how you grew up eating akule, same thing. And now, you know, you're seeing a lot of this ahi, you see taco, salmon, and a lot of the varieties. I think people just don't like to have the bones in there. But when you go to the stores now, right, you see ahi, taco, sometimes you see ao, definitely salmon, but for sure ahi is like #1 these days. Okay, so here is the diced ahi that's ready to go. And then we'll go and make a couple simple varieties, okay? By the way, what's the Hawaiian word for fish?
I'a.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Ahi is a type of fish, and fish is i'a in Hawaiian, so ahi and i'a.
Great. Are there any questions right now as we're getting started? Anyone out there that had any questions about what we're doing here? If I don't know the answers, we've got a bunch of fact checkers behind here that can help us out. So please don't hesitate to ask questions. All right, so like I was saying, making poke, you know, I wanted to show you simple versions, right? So the first one I'm going to show you actually is just really the basic, right? And so I put some ahi in the bowl here, and
Bowl
then
in Hawaiian is umeke.
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 So make that in a whole sentence then.
The ahi is in the umeke, and I suppose, we'll really mix
Okay,
it.
and you put a little bit of
Pa'akai.
pinch. A little bit more. Okay, good. So the first thing we're doing is just, I have a little bit of ahi here. I got some Hawaiian salt on here, and we're just gonna mix it, kind of loam it together so that we can season. And when I make poke too, and when you make poke at home, I advise putting the salt first because it will season the fish. Lots of times you put the oil and everything first, you put the salt after, it doesn't go into the fish. So we're letting that go into the fish here, okay?
I have a question.
Yes.
For your pa'akai, you want it white or with the ʻahi on it?
I like it with the ʻahi because, and this is what we're using here too, and the reason why I like it is because that clay gives it more of a mineral terroir flavor, that soil flavor, and it adds to the layers of complexity in the poke. That said, if you have the white and that's what you got, don't let that stop you from making the poke. You can go in your yard and get some dirt, throw inside too. So then we just add a little bit of that. This is, what is this? Inamona.
Okay.
Grab some inamona, throw it inside. A little bit more. Good. Okay, and so this is like what you could see is a very basic version, salt and inamona. Now I am going to put a little bit of this is sesame oil. I'm going to put a little bit. And just reason I'm putting it is,
Kai sauce.
okay, we're making some sauce here. And then the reason I'm putting it though too is because I want it to be a little bit shiny and it gives it a little bit more luxuriousness. And the toasted kukui nut tastes very similar to the sesame oil because they both have that toasted nutty flavor. And then you have, so this is a very basic right here. So it would be a very basic poke here, okay? Now, you take the same recipe here, I'll take a little bit more. We put some of the salt. Okay, now, here, Bodhi, can you take your knife? What is this?
Limu.
So you can take your limu, chop it up, throw it inside, please. And then you start to make like a Hawaiian style poke a little bit. And then you could use Hawaiian chili peppers. I have chili flakes. I'm gonna put just a little bit inside here. Throw it inside here. Now this ogo or limu is cultivated. So this came from the North Shore. There's a farmer there that grows it. And because of the amount of poke that's consumed these days, if we were to just naturally harvest, we would completely destroy whatever is out there. So it's commercially grown now, and that's what we're using. That said, if you are gonna go harvest, you're gonna go and get some limu yourself, what's the best way how do you pick limu?
When you pick limu, you pinch it and you take it off, but you don't pull everything off because then it'll take off certain parts that won't let it grow back. So you should just take a little bit and only take what you need.
Exactly. So the part that's important is the where the limu attaches to the rock, you need to leave and it will grow back. Now, the longer you leave it, the faster it'll grow back. So when you do harvest, or you go pick, I would say try to leave at least ½ inch on top of the back on the rock so that it can regenerate itself.
Okay.
And can you use any kind of limu?
There are many varieties of limu. I'm not an expert on limu. This variety that they call that we Japanese call ogo. Shoot, I forget the actual Hawaiian name is, but limu kohu is another variety that people like to use. I think there's definitely other varieties that are out there, but it comes down to personal preference and texture, right? What I think is nice about this variety is when you look at it, the limu it's smaller, it's crunchy, it's crispy. There are other varieties that are more like salad, or they're really thick and crunchy. So it comes down to personal preference at that point. Okay, so here's the next one we got here. And as you can see, you're just starting to, all we're doing is we're taking and adding a couple other ingredients, and you have a different kind of poke. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Now I'm gonna take this onion, and I'm gonna have you slice it, Bodhi. Here, take your knife, please, over here on your cutting board. Mm-hmm. And I want you to cut it with the grain into strips like that, okay?
Okay.
Okay, cut that, and then we'll just put it on top of here. And then you'll see, I'm sure you've seen varieties like this in the store where it's onion on top of ʻahi with salt. Sometimes you'll see on top of them as well. So here's two varieties we have here. Another variety that is one of my favorites. How's that going?
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. So here's another variety here, and I'll also I'll put a little bit of green onion too, so you guys can see that. You guys can envision what you're seeing in the store. Here's that other variety right there. So now we have two varieties, right? You have like a Maui onion style now, and then you have a limu version, okay? Mm-hmm. Now we're gonna make another one that I like to eat. Let me rinse this out real quick. And that one is, it starts to evolve into more contemporary varieties you would see out there. And it's a very simple, very few ingredients, but it's delicious. So we have our ʻahi again. I need you to copy this, please.
Okay. Copy to salt.
Yeah, a little bit in there. Good. That's good. And then we're gonna add, this is Masago. And this is, it's capulin roll. So it's little eggs. And what's really great about this is it gives color, it gives texture. You feel the eggs on your palate, and then they pop when you bite into them. I'm gonna put a little bit of sesame oil for texture and flavor. And then, yes?
Where do you find inamona?
So you can get them at Foodland. If you go to the seafood department, you can ask them. They'll sell it by the pound, so you can ask for a little bit. Or you can go harvest your own kukui nuts and roast them and chop them. But it's widely available. Oh, a couple of things too. If you don't have inamona, right, that's where you can use sesame seeds, which will give you the similar flavor. The other thing you can do is get other nuts. So you can take walnuts and roast them and chop them. You can take darker hazelnuts will work. Pine nuts work too. What's that?
This could really mix.
I'm mixing it.
So inamona only the kukui nut? Like some people add like garlic.
I think that's where you start to get into people's personal preferences. Okay, so this one here, this is like ʻahi Masago we made right now. How's that look?
Very good.
How do you think it's gonna taste?
Even better.
You think it might actually be ono? Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna garnish a little bit. But you can see, there's not a whole lot of ingredients that have been put in here, and it's really about featuring the fresh fish. So that's 3 quick varieties that we just did right now, and then we'll go into make one of the ones that you have the recipe for us. So we'll start with this one here, Bodhi. Can you help me, tell me what needs to go into it? And everyone, if you're gonna do this with us at home, this is the one we're gonna do. So
1 pound of ahi.
okay, hang on. Got my ahi going inside, all right?
1
Next.
teaspoon of salt.
So what are you gonna
Poke.
do? You can take the poke and what are you gonna do?
Kapi.
Okay. Okay, next.
Limu.
Okay.
2 tablespoons of limu.
Here, I'm gonna let you do this again. You can do that. What else?
1/2 of a red onion.
A
Diced.
half of a red onion. Okay. You can use red onion, but I already started this, so we use this, okay? Diced or sliced?
Sliced.
Okay, so what I like to do, when you cut your onion, you can cut it against the grain, which will give you these little like round shapes, or I like to cut it with the grain, which will give it sort of a round shape, but it's not as dramatically round. Throw that inside. And then this one is, again, notice I'm kind of eyeballing, so I wrote your recipe that works, but you can also just kind of like go by feel too, right? So I'll just go put some in. What else is this?
2 tablespoons of sesame oil.
Okay, what else?
1 tablespoon of shoyu.
What else?
2 teaspoons of ginger.
Okay.
1 teaspoon of garlic.
Okay, hang
Both
on.
of those chopped.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the garlic here. So I have a garlic clove here. I will take the stem off, and then I'm gonna smash it, and I'm gonna let Bodhi chop it. Now the reason I'm smashing it is it'll make it easier to chop, but the other thing it's gonna do, by smashing it, you're actually destroying and bruising all of the cell walls in this clove, which will allow all of the essential oils from the garlic to start to come out and make it very fragrant. So you want bruising it and smashing it adds, it helps bring out the flavor. So he's gonna do that. And then I'm gonna do the ginger. And then for those of you that maybe not so familiar with ginger, the easy way to do this is, okay, so I have a piece of ginger here inside. And then you just get a spoon so that you're not wasting, and you just scrape it very lightly, and that will take the outer skin out. And then you can just go ahead and slice it and chop it. Just hold this down for a second.
Is that underskin edible?
It's edible, and sometimes, you know, like when I make chicken long rice, I'll just take these sections, I'll wash it, smash it, and just throw the whole thing inside and take it out later. So it's totally edible, and it just comes down to 1, making sure you get the dirt off, and 2, like preference, you know, like prettier, more refined. Then you're just gonna rough chop this. I'm gonna just quickly just go at this. That's a lot. I'm not gonna use all of it, but what else goes in here after? Green onions.
Green onion.
Okay.
2 tablespoons of green onions.
Okay.
Sliced.
And so I'll put my, I like ginger. I'll put that much. Okay. And then I gotta do green onion. You said, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm using the green. You can use the green all the way down to the white. Now, as you think about this poke that we're making, right, the one I'm making here, this recipe is really, it's based on like what you would think of when you go to restaurants. This is restaurant style poke. If you go to restaurants and you see it has shoyu, ginger, all this kind of stuff in there, right? And when you think about, if you just if you just took the ahi and the limu out and you mixed everything else, you could probably marinate that and make kalbi with that, right? Well, you have to put sugar maybe, but the flavors, as you think about it now, right? It's really, you're starting to see the influence of what really in the 70s became contemporary poke. When you started to see it in stores like places like Foodland, or for those of you that remember the Alamana Farmers Market, right? You just go to Bob's Fish Market, get your oatmeal poke, and then you get this kind of style of starting to see shoyu, ginger, garlic, sesame oil. Does the recipe have sesame seeds?
Yes. 1 teaspoon.
Okay. Chili flakes, right?
What
Yes.
kind of shoyu do you prefer?
I use Yamasa shoyu. I use that. Kikkoman's good too. I know locals here, we all love our Aloha shoyu, and Aloha shoyu is good too, but to me, it's much milder on flavor, so you tend to have to use more, and then it starts to just get really salty. But Aloha shoyu came out with another, I think it's called Gold, and has more flavor, and that's what I'm looking for, is that brewed shoyu flavor versus like just salt and water. So I'm adding a little bit of chili flakes. If you have chili peppers, great. Chili pepper water work great. So that's going in here. I feel like there's something I'm missing. What am I missing here? Sesame seeds.
Yes.
Toasted sesame seeds. Okay, we're gonna mix.
Kalbi mix.
Thank you. Very good.
Yeah.
You like taste.
Me too.
Would you get a chopstick there? Okay, ready. How does it taste?
Oh no.
Very good. Okay, so notice we're gonna make all our pokés, we're gonna put them in poke containers. So here's that poke here, you can see.
So Chef, while you're doing that, we're going to break away real quick
Sure.
and do a video on the salt and cook.
Aloha, my name is Ku'ule, and we are standing in the salt patch in Hanapepe. I personally have been making salt for about 30 years. My father has been making salt since he was a baby. During the summer is when the season starts. And what happens is each family has their own section. There's 26 original families. Each family has its own well. Water travels underground into the wells. We take the water from the well and we transfer it into a waiku. A waiku is a holding bed. This is where the water heats before we actually move it into the bed. The bed is called the pune. This starts the crystallization process. The water starts to form different crystals, which looks more like flakes. Those flakes start to get heavy, they form different layers. So you have your bottom layer, which is your reddish layer, and that's what we give away to fishermen or people who do blessings. Then you have your middle layer, and that's what you use for barbecues and cooking and things like that. Then you have your top layer, which is your whitest layer, and that's what you use for table salt. Back in the olden days, it was Hawaiians believed that when you fish or you hunt or you do any of that stuff, you only gather what you can use. So there is no waste. So there was this lady, her name was Kia, and she was hanging out on the beach here at Pulolo Point, and she caught way too much fish, and she tried to give it away to everyone on the beach, and she felt extremely bad. So she started to cry, she started to weep. So this woman appeared from the bushes and said, "Please don't cry, follow me." So she took her to this area and she dug her a hole, and she said, "Here, put your fish into this hole." So she did that, and then the fish dried. The fish was able to preserve. So that's how Hawaiian salt was created. Salt is called pa'akai. Pa'akai means to solidify the sea. What makes this pa'akai so unique is that little brine shrimp live in the well. And that brine shrimp, it helps clean the well, keeps all the algae out of the well, but it also gives the salt a sweeter taste. So if you taste this salt versus the salt you get in the store, it's a lot more sweeter. This is truly unique because I get to stand in the exact same place my grandmother stood and do the exact same thing. I get to teach my kids that. And my kids are learning that you can work hard, extremely hard for something that you love, for your culture and your history, and then to create a product and just hand it to someone because you love them, because you respect them. You know, it's truly a unique gift that you get to give. If you're here during the summer months and you see me working on in the salt patch, come on in. I'll gladly give you a tour. My name is Ku'ule, like the drink Kool-Aid without the D at the end. The more we talk about it, the more we educate people, the more people want to protect it, the more people want to preserve it, the more people do their part to help make sure that this area stays the way it was meant to be.
All right. How'd you like the video on ʻAhi?
Good, yeah.
All right. Okay, so the next one we're gonna start is we're gonna really go into modern poke making, right? We're gonna make spicy ahi poke. By the way, I had a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Why is yellowfin tuna named ahi?
Do you know?
Maybe. So when they used to go fishing, right? They go in the canoes, and this ahi is huge and it's super powerful and strong. And so what would happen is sometimes once they catch one, it would pull so hard, it would pull the line on the side of the canoe so hard that it would smoke and would make fire.
Fire in Hawaiian is ahi, but without the okina.
Good. Okay. Okay, so can you help me with the ingredients here? So I have our ahi that's going inside here.
Salt, pa'akai,
Okay, and again, why are we putting the salt first?
so that it marinates and has more taste.
A little bit more. And then,
Sesame oil,
okay,
2 teaspoons of sesame oil.
okay, okay,
1 tablespoon of shoyu,
okay,
2 tablespoons of sriracha, or
Okay.
kimchi base.
Yeah, so I use sriracha. Some people use like momoya. Some people use momoya and kimchi together. You know, some people will put a little bit momoya, a little bit sugar, a little bit. So it's like you do what feels good for you. Okay. So I'm gonna put this inside here. And what are we making? All combining all these things together is making what?
Spicy ahi poke.
But what is all this wet stuff combined together?
Kai. Sauce.
And this is your favorite, right? This is everyone's favorite. We're gonna put that in there. Okay, what's next? Masago, right?
Masago, yes.
One thing about this too is when I mix this, I'm not gonna go super crazy on this, and you want it to be as cold as possible, because if you mix it too much, then the mayo starts to get kind of watery, right? Now, if that starts to happen, when you're done, put it in the fridge and just it'll set up again. But that's one thing that's like you gotta be careful about. Okay, I'm putting this in here. I love this stuff. Okay, what else?
Green onions.
Okay, green onions. Now, when you think about this super popular local poke, it's mayonnaise, it's sugar, it's sriracha. I'm not sugar. It's mayonnaise, sriracha, sesame oil, masago, and where this I think comes from is where you start to see like sushi culture start to imbue itself into poke making. And when you think like dynamite and all these things, and I actually can turn this into, I'll make you guys some California ahi poke. And you think about that, right? It's like a California roll, but you're making poke out of it. And so, you know, as you see the evolution of what started out as just as a Hawaiian humble dish with salt and kukui nut, then you start to see the influx of Asian culture. And even on top of Asian culture, now you're starting to see this influx of just sushi culture too. So, green onions. You're like waiting for this poke bowl building time, aren't you?
Maybe.
Hey, one thing, you know, I'll say is when you guys having get-togethers, you're having party, you guys having, like that. When you guys have poke and you're gonna put it out on the table, what would be a good idea to do?
Put it on how or ice,
And why is that?
so that it doesn't get all warm.
Yeah. So, gotta keep that temperature right. So here's the spicy ahi poke. And again, one of the things that I'm looking for when I'm making this ahi poke, this spicy ahi poke, as you can see here, is the color. The mayo and the sauce is coating the ahi, but it's not so much that you cannot see ahi. That's kind of like what you're looking for when you're mixing it, okay? And that, you want to try one? Let me know. Good? Okay. So I want to put a little bit inside here. I know you like spicy, so I'm going to put a little bit extra inside here. Okay. So we have our spicy here. So now we got, how many poke we got?
5.
Is it pokes or poke? How many pokes or how many poke?
I think poke.
Why? All right. I think that's just correct, right? It's plural, is not, they don't put an S in Hawaiian. So now I'm taking the spicy ahi poke that we made and I'm adding imitation crab. And if you want to go 5-star, you can add like real crab too. King crab, shredded, Dungeness crab, all ono. Shredding that inside here, okay. And then I'm gonna add some cucumber. Now this is a Japanese cucumber. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stripe it a little bit just to get some of the skin off. Striping it, and then I'm gonna cut it in the middle. And you can leave this if you want, but I will take it out. I'm gonna scrape out the seeds here. And then I'm gonna have Bodhi over here, he's gonna dice it up. So just this piece here, take your knife and cut it into small little cubes and we'll throw it inside here. A little bit smaller than the pieces of the ahi. That's good. Now while he's doing that, I'm gonna do avocado here. Okay, so I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna cut this open. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna cut this open.
Actually, I have a cucumber question.
Yeah.
What's the difference between regular cucumber and Japanese cucumber?
So like English cucumber is a bigger variety. It has a thicker skin. It has way more seeds in the center. And so it's just it's a different eating experience. Where Japanese cucumber like this, longer, as you can see in here, much smaller seed, more flesh. And then even like, I think it's a variety of Japanese, could be wrong though, but like keiki cucumbers, those you see in the bags now, that's like all of it's edible, right? So I'm gonna take this avocado, I'm gonna cut it. Okay, and then I'm gonna, by the way, if you've not done that before, I'm taking this, I cut around it, I twisted it, opened it up. The seed here you can pop out. When you're done with this, if you're not ready to eat it, you can spray with a little bit of vegetable oil, rub some olive oil on it, wrap it, and it will keep it from turning brown. So how was this? How was this?
Very good. Oh no.
How was this one?
Oh no.
Okay. And what is, when I mix all of this stuff together, what am I making?
Poke.
Yes, and the wet stuff, what is that?
Kai sauce.
Okay. And when I'm gonna, what is the word for season? To salt.
Kapi.
And then what am I using to kapi?
Pakai.
And what is ogo in Hawaiian?
Limu.
Very good. Okay, so I'm adding avocado here.
Mm-hmm.
And then what am I getting ready to do now here?
Kavili.
And what does that mean?
Mix it up.
How does that look?
Oh no.
And what is this called?
Poke.
And what kind of fish is this?
Ahi.
And how did it get its name?
From when fishermen were catching ahi, it would burn inside the boat because the rope was moving so fast.
And is it spelled the same way?
Nope, with an okina.
And when you're making poke and you're having a party, What do you do with it?
Put it on how?
And what is that?
Ice.
Good job. Okay, so here's our California ahi poke now. So you see how, you can take a poke and have fun with it, and then you have other poke. So now, right, the varieties we have here are, this is the one we made. This is like that restaurant style. This is Masago. We got limu. This is like Hawaiian or like Maui onion style, which started out as just like a basic Hawaiian style. Spicy ahi and
California.
California. And all of these are made with what?
Ahi.
Which is?
Yeah.
Okay, good job. All right, so now we're gonna move into making poke bowl. Poke what?
Bowl. Umeke.
How do you say it? How do you say it? Say it together.
Poke umeke.
Sounds good. Okay, now, so when you're making poke bowls, basically, I know it's very simple, right? It can be like rice, poke, and that's delicious too, right? But I thought I'll make a couple different versions just so you guys can use your imagination and kind of let that spur how it goes for you. Okay, so I got rice here, and if you got salad, that's great. People do quinoa these days. You can do brown rice. You can make sushi rice. So the sky's the limit. So I have some furikake here. I'm gonna put it on top here. Ooh. And then I'm gonna use this one here. We'll put some of this on top here. I'm gonna make like a kanak attack. What is a kanak attack?
I'm not sure.
What is a kanaka?
Someone older than you?
Fact check. Kanaka, please. What is kanaka?
And grandparent?
A kanaka is a local, right?
It's an older person.
Okay. All right.
Well,
Okay.
not really Kanaka, that's Kuku.
So I got
Kanaka, yeah.
poke. We got some kalua pig here. This is pipi kaula. We'll put some on here. How's that looking, Bodhi?
Very well.
Then we have some lomi salmon here. Put some of that here. Lomi salmon goes on here. I want to take some Maui onion, put a little bit here. Take some of, what is this?
Pakai.
Sprinkle some pot kai on there.
Copy.
Let me put a little bit more poke here. And then let me put some green onions. And so we have like a kanak attack poke bowl here. And then garnishing is always the key, right? You gotta make them look pretty. I'm gonna put a little bit inamona on top here too. So here's one poke bowl. How's that one look?
I don't know.
Okay, I can challenge you. I want you to use every word and talk about this poke bowl right now. Go for it.
Okay, so we poke to make the poke. We poke the ahi to make poke. We sprinkle pakai on it. It's in the umeke. The poke is ʻia. We copy with the salt to garnish it.
And what's one of the ingredients in here? Limu.
Yeah, limu. And when you mix all the things together, it makes kai. You kavili to do that, and it's ono.
It's ono. Nice. And then if you can take this to the beach, well, you got to put it with the cooler with what?
Ho.
Good job. Okay, now we're gonna make one. I guess we go Korean stylish poke. So I have spicy ahi that I put over here, and you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just put a little bit. I'm also gonna put 2 pokes on this one. So I'll put some of this. This is the one with just the onion and inamona. Okay. Then this is cucumber namu, so cucumber with sesame oil. Put that there. And then this is pickled garlic. If you've not had this before, this will be your new favorite thing. Go get some. They sell them in the store, in the seafood department. It's like mild garlic flavor. It's not hot. Show you plenty like umami. Ooh, it's making me hungry, yeah. We got some kimchi that we'll put in here. You like kimchi?
A little too hot for me.
Kimchi we're gonna put on top there. This is not Korean, but this is kabayaki sauce. This is what they put on unagi. I'm gonna put a zigzag on this thing here. And then this is fried. Want to try some? Sure. This is fried garlic. We're gonna put some on top here. I'll put a little bit of furikake just to round it out. And you know what? I'm gonna put some avocado. And that's the fun part about making a poke bowl. You can just use your imagination, think of all the things that you love to eat, and then you're all set. Okay, so I think we're about ready to wrap it up. We made the shoyu ahi poke. We made spicy ahi poke.
Yep.
Of those two varieties, we did some offshoots, right? We made Masago ahi.
Yep.
We made limu. We made just the Hawaiian style. We added some Hawaiian or Maui onion, right? Then we made poke bowls. We made two kinds, which is like a Hawaiian style, it just needs a lau lau on the side and some poi maybe, right? Chili pepper water. And then sort of a Korean style here with spicy ahi. We got some of the simple Hawaiian style one. Kimchi, pickled garlic, cucumber, and avocado. Any last minute questions? All right. Oh, you gotta eat. You ready to taste? We have a taste tester.
I am always ready to eat, unfortunately, but good fortunate.
Here, let me pull them all up here. You can pick,
Oh my gosh.
or you can choose. Dig in here. You can try them all. Here we go.
That has nice texture to it. I'm not good at this one, right? One of these. Okay.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Before I make a pig of myself and eat everything, I want to thank you very much. This was very. You did a great job. You were nervous for nothing.
Thank you.
Anyway, thank you all of you for joining. This is being recorded, and we will be sending it out. So if you need to watch it again, or you want to share it with your family and friends, you'll have the opportunity. Please, there's going to be an assessment in the chat. If you can click that link, go in there. Just let us know what you like, what you would like to see us do in the future. Also, if you take a picture of your final poke bowl, send it in to us by October 22nd. The one with the best picture will get a prize. All right. Anything else? Thank you again very much.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we are now going to eat. Aloha.